The most awaited bout between two of the best fighters, Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus Du Plessis, is finally over, and here are the pros' reactions.
What are you feeling right now, my friend?
Like normal fights. Not. I like to be in the cage more than outside, so it was fun. Last minute, get some punches. Be happy.
There is a new UFC middleweight champion. His name, Khamzat Chimaev. One of the most dominant performances that we've ever seen in a UFC title fight ever. He beats Dricus Du Plessis.
I'm not making it up! I'm not making it up! I'm not making this shit up! They avoid combat at all costs! You are a human! Get out of this combat sport! Ah! Chimaev landed a shot that looked like it could have hurt! Chimaev landed a punch that maybe could have caused damage to his opponent. Ah! He did it again! That actually might have hurt Dricus! There might be a chance that Dricus winced at that shot. What are we doing, dude? We can't put this on Paramount. We can't put this on Paramount. Cancel the deal.
Dricus gets on top. Dricus is in mount. Dricus is in mount. Oh my God. No. Dricus has to choke. No. Dude, Dricus, do something, brother. You got 10 seconds left. So Dricus tends to use explosive leg, heels to the floor, sit up, torso kind of get-ups. These require a lot of energy and they create a lot of motion, and it's a big problem. But if I'm Dricus, I'm just hanging out. Yeah, all right. So Khamzat Chimaev is your new champion. Bro, I have so much to say on the post-fight show. I have so much to say about that performance. I have so much to say about that.
Big kick from Dricus. Chimaev shoots in and gets it. Ah, it's over, chat. He got the body lock again. He avoided combat again. Back to his position against the cage, holding another man up against the cage and knee in the thigh. Oh no, dude. What's Chimaev? Dude, 5 seconds left. Anything could happen. Ah! No, nothing happened because it's a f***ing Chimaev fight.
That dominance was insane by Khamzat. The boogeyman becomes the champion.
Yeah.
50-44 on all three judges' scorecards. It goes the distance. And the best way to describe this fight, in my opinion, was domination. Absolute, total domination. Just listen very quickly to some of these numbers here. Khamzat Chimaev landed 510 strikes, according to ESPN's Fight Center. 510 strikes in this 5-round fight.
Deixa taas na uusvakan, ja meillä. Essa tyni que do meio lá já. Engale acha os chifres isso galo agora. Aí, lá galo o chifre ali. Até a rua de Luma agora, só que I think got that alone. Hopeless, really well. Yeah, well.
I get like 2 more and then
Cheio de arrugo de lá, cego. Vai ver uma amiga ligou uma de
Prior to the face-off, the UFC world was torn between the two fighters, with most of the pros claiming that choosing between the two was almost impossible. Each contender had their own strengths, and each of them had their own group of supporters. Ahead of the fight, Michael Bisping had given his 2 cents about Khamzat Chimaev, acknowledging the fighter's ability to take down his opponent in a few minutes. However, he had also pointed out the core weakness that had been plaguing Khamzat for a while, and that was his lack of cardio.
That's because he believes in his ability. He believes that all he needs is a minute or 2 minutes, or certainly at tops, 1 round with the guy, and he will put them down and he will finish them. And if he doesn't submit them, then he will knock them out. This is the self-belief that Khamzat Chimaev has. He is a very special fighter. However, the cardio could be an issue. We've spoken about that at length.
While acknowledging the prowess of Khamzat Chimaev, Michael did point out that if Khamzat had not undergone the necessary training and conditioning, he would not be able to take Dricus down, and the South African champion would retain his title as such. Overall, Michael had predicted that UFC 319 would be a hell of a fight. Michael even stated that there has been no man alive who could bully DDP in the octagon.
He's going to put him on his back foot. He's going to force him to engage in a very grueling affair. So if Khamzat Chimaev hasn't done all the necessary training, then Dricus Du Plessis will remain the champion. It's as simple as that. But if Khamzat shows up prepared the way that he says that he has prepared, and all the videos that we've seen online and the quotes from Quinton Rampage Jackson saying that this man's training like a beast, if all this is true, then we are in for one hell of a fight. Because I'll tell you what, no man alive is going to bully Dricus Du Plessis around the octagon. Now, you might have said that about Robert Whittaker, and what Khamzat did to Robert Whittaker was phenomenal. But remember, Dricus Du Plessis also knocked out Robert Whittaker, dropped him with a jab, and then followed it up. No offense to Robert Whittaker, the man's had a legendary career, but wear and tear does start to add up the longer you go in this career.
On the other hand, even before the fight took place, Dricus Du Plessis was showcasing immense self-confidence and faith in his abilities to take down Chimaev. He claimed that he was the better contender in the UFC 319 matchup, being a step ahead of Khamzat in every aspect. He showed pride in being the world champion and said it would all be clear on the day of the match.
Because I'm better than him at every single aspect. I'm both different. I'm the champion for a reason. And he's going to find that out on Saturday night.
Moreover, Luke Thomas, a few days prior to the fight, threw out the point that this UFC fight is one of those matchups that can go either way. It can be in one contender's favor, but at the same time, the win could be snatched up by the other one. According to him though, if Dricus had the ability to power through the first few rounds of the fight, the game would have been over for Khamzat.
The demarcation line for me is that 3rd round, kind of like Hendo Hua. What happens after that? Like, if DDP is still around after 15 minutes, that would tell you that Khamzat's grappling was enough to win probably those rounds and not much more, right? And again, I'm imagining there's going to be a degree of damage, but if DDP is, coming off the stool for round 4, yeah, you got your hands full. You know what I mean? You better bite down on the mouthpiece, because I don't know what he's going to do, but he's marching across the octagon. You can believe that.
Additionally, Tom Aspinall broke down both the fighters' sparring techniques, predicting along the way how the match would proceed. According to Tom, Dricus had an unorthodox style where half the time even he did not know what his next move would be. This method, however unpredictable, was super effective for the fighter, as it made him unbeatable in all his prior matches. Tom even gave a live demonstration of the South African fighter's techniques, breaking them down one by one.
This is no disrespect. I think half the time he doesn't know what he's going to do, and it just works. Whatever he does, it just works. He's unorthodox. He's got this herky-jerky, weird rhythm style, and it looks ugly to watch, but
it's effective.
It's super effective, super tough guy. Cardio's through the roof. I know he had the issue with his nose that he's got fixed, so now he's pushing on with the cardio, and especially when we've seen Khamzat Chimaev kind of fade a little bit in the Usman fight. I think this is going to be super interesting, man, to see what he does. If I may, I'd like to attempt.
Go on. I want to see you try and attempt this.
To break down his style a little bit. This is tough, but we're going to...
Right, go on. Let's see it.
I'm going to give you a couple of visuals of what I think he does. What he does really well is just the pressure. Yeah. He's just slowly walking. But the way he walks, he doesn't do it traditionally where he's here and he's stepping this way. He's literally walking. And then he'll step to the side and he'll walk in this way. And then he'll do some crazy stuff. where he'll go for a low single, miss it, and go to a head kick. I'm at a loss, to be honest with you, a lot of the
it's
time.
just so funky.
With what he's doing. I don't claim to stand here and think that I understand his style, because I don't. I think we're better off just watching it, to be honest, as opposed to breaking down his style.
Moreover, talking about Khamzat and his style, Tom broke down the Russian fighter's sparring techniques as well, claiming that the fighter had an immense upper hand in the grappling field, being one of the best grapplers in the UFC world. Tom had also said that one thing that makes Khamzat stand out from the rest is his method of not wasting time and going straight for the attack, which does not give his opponents time to defend themselves.
Let's talk about Khamzat Chimaev's style. Essentially, front foot fighter, likes to be on the front foot. A lot of fakes this way, super athletic guy. A lot of fakes up and down, which is when you see him doing this kind of thing, goes down. When his opponents go down, then he'll come up with the right, really heavy hands as well. But something that he does, he's very unorthodox himself with his wrestling style, is usually you'll attack kind of the hips this way.
Yeah.
He will go extremely low, where like he attacks the knees and goes on his own knees. Then when his opponent starts to sprawl, he comes up high and gets this position, gets his opponents to their knees, and once he gets them here, this is when he's in his world then. He'll get a hook in, ride him out this way, throw punches, attack the neck. Like, the level of grappling that Khamzat Chimaev brings is...
That takes an incredible amount of athleticism to be able to do.
Something else I love about Khamzat Chimaev is he just loves... There we go.
Wastes no time.
Look
at the attack.
onto the floor.
Look at the entry here.
But he does it from miles away, drops to his knees, and then springs up and takes the back.
However, when it comes to the main point, Tom Aspinall had made the bold prediction that Dricus could take the title home, claiming that he would never think that Dricus Du Plessis would lose again. But at the same time, the heavyweight fighter could not help but believe that Khamzat too was a beast of a fighter. In the end, as most had done, Tom gave the verdict that the fight could go either way, claiming that these are the types of fights that the audience loves the most.
DDP, I've got no idea. The more I watch him, the less I know about him.
It is super interesting, but Tom, how do you see the fight going? Who wins?
I will never, ever, ever think that DDP is going to lose again.
Wow.
I just don't know. He just finds a way to win. Against Khamzat Chimaev, though, someone that I've shared a card with a couple of times, in Abu Dhabi, funny enough. Khamzat Chimaev is an absolute beast, man. And if he can get that back control and start that cycle that he does, of dragging guys to the ground, going for the submissions, punching them from there, punishing them, tiring them out. So, mate, the answer is, I don't know. That's why we love MMA, though. That's why we love it, because fights like this, they come around every now and again, and you just don't know.
Moving on, prior to the fight, Dricus Du Plessis gave a sneak peek to the public about how his training sessions used to go. The South African fighter went against 10 guys in a sparring session in his camp once, having only 1 minute to take down each. Dricus then said that there was even a prize assigned to the guy who could take down DDP, a whopping $10,000 to anyone who managed to pin the fighter down. In the end, Dricus admitted no one won the 10K because Dricus does not like to lose.
You have 1 minute with each guy, and there were like 10 guys. And he said, it was a 10-minute round, I remember specifically. He said 1 minute with each, and 10K for the guy who takes him down. So what's my motivation, that you might ask? I don't like losing. I don't like getting taken down. I don't like losing anything. And then they went at it, and nobody got that 10K.
In another interview, Dricus Du Plessis claimed that he did not give much thought to the buzz around the fight or took what people were predicting for the fight to his heart, because he knew that by the end of the bout, he would end up as the victor. According to him, sparring against Khamzat was a mere step towards greatness, so it doesn't matter if the fight finished in a single round or 4 rounds, as long as he took the win.
I visualized this fight with me winning the bout back. You know, when we walk out there, the bout is given. There's not a champion. When we walk in there, both of us are fighting for that title. And I know I'm going home with that belt. No, as far as he goes, I mean, I don't care what the fans see. Every time I defend that title, there's going to be a next best guy. And that's how I see him. He's the next step. He's the next guy on my way to becoming the greatest. And that's all he is. So I know it's going to be an electrifying fight. Whether it goes 5 rounds or the first round, it will be what people expect.
Moreover, Josh Thompson and John McCarthy from the YouTube channel Weighing In gave their own opinions about the fight, with John claiming that despite the odds, he would pick Khamzat as the winner of the fight. They discussed how massive Khamzat is in reality, while everyone sings praises about DDP's figure, claiming that Khamzat almost towered over his opponent when they shook hands a few days prior to the fight.
Everyone talks about how big DDP is.
Yeah,
and he's a good sized guy, but they forget Chimaev's big. That's why I said that whole 170 pound thing. Him going down to fight Islam, they ain't happening, dude.
Take a look at that, John.
He's too big.
Look at that. Look at that. Good God.
Well, some of it is angle too. You gotta go with angle.
It is.
He's looking up, dude. He's looking up.
He's looking at him going, shit, you're bigger than I thought.
Chimaev's looking Chimaev's looking down and fucking DDP is looking up. Holy shit. I mean, I hope he makes weight.
See, that's what I'm saying. People are saying, oh,
you know, building up his muscle. See him working out with Aaron Pico over at the training lab in with Sam Calavita and those guys.
Mm-hmm.
He looks fantastic. He physically looks like a damn giant. His back, his neck, you know, all of it. So this is gonna be one of those fights. He goes out there and dominates DDP. Everyone's gonna be like, holy, the real deal.
Well, if he goes out and dominates DDP, everyone's gonna be wrong.
Yeah,
because there's a whole lot of people saying, nope, DDP is gonna be the guy coming out on top in that fight. So it's gonna be interesting to see. I obviously either guy can win it.
Yeah, the betting odds don't agree with that. They're saying that Chimaev's going to win the fight.
I'm just saying, look, I'm being honest. I go with the betting odds.
Furthermore, Jared Cannonier had claimed that as long as Dricus Du Plessis would use his chaotic and messy style to his advantage, the South African fighter could fend off the attacks and throws thrown out by Khamzat Chimaev. It would also be a useful technique to take down Chimaev if he got exhausted. According to Jared, if DDP failed to do that, Khamzat would have the ability to knock him out in a single round.
Khamzat is going to try to wrestling. He's going to utilize wrestling. One, you don't want to get knocked out, and every fight starts on the feet, but he's going to utilize his wrestling. So I think as long as DDP can harness that chaotic thing that he has, create some chaos and come out victorious, then he can either defend off his takedowns and then put pressure onto a exhausted Khamzat. Or Khamzat is successful and, you know, we get a one-rounder or something like that.
Similarly, Rainier de Ridder had stated before the fight that he did not see Khamzat Chimaev being able to finish Dricus Du Plessis early. According to him, Dricus could easily extend the fight to 2 to 3 rounds, making it harder for Khamzat to take him down. Having trained with both the fighters, Rainier brought in his experience while throwing out his opinions.
Because of the experience I have with training with both the guys, I just don't see Khamzat finishing him early, and I see Dricus building in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. I see him edging it out, but we'll see. Hopefully it never happens and I can jump in.
Moreover, Rainier had complimented DDP's fighting style, acknowledging his gas tank and his unpredictable methods of sparring. However, he also gave a cheat sheet on how to win against DDP, claiming that the best way to finish the fighter off would be by pushing him against the cage, making him shell up, and wrestling him till he can be taken down.
What do you think is the key to beating DDP? Because he's just one of those guys, yeah.
It's a crazy puzzle to solve, because it's so, the way he moves, everything he does is so weird. The gas tank is crazy. The angles he comes with is very weird. But what we haven't seen people do to him is mixing strikes and takedowns. They all strike and then he shells up, moves back. They stop striking and then he gets another go. But I think what would be important in a Dricus fight is hit him with a couple shots, make him shell up like he likes to do, and then push him against the cage, wrestle with him, get him to the clinch.
Additionally, Oscar Wildes had claimed, just like many others before the fight, that a matchup like this was unpredictable, wherein Khamzat could easily take down DDP from one corner of the octagon and get him into a chokehold, but also DDP could just as easily pull Khamzat off of him and match the Russian fighter's level. Oscar also commented on how much Khamzat had changed as a fighter and a person based on his interviews prior to going against DDP, highlighting that there were aspects about the fighters the audience was still unaware of.
I think it's the reason why it's such an interesting fight is because it's very hard not to see Khamzat go out, shoot his takedown from across the cage, get it, get the back, and get the choke. But it's equally very hard for me to imagine DDP is not strong enough to push anyone off him at this point. You know, the guy's like freaky strong and really tough. So it's really hard to sort of see it that way. In terms of which way I'm leaning, I'll change every day. Probably as fight week goes, I'll start doing that thing we always do where we read into what he said at media day and all this sort of stuff. So I'm not really sure. I think like Khamzat's energy, I did a media day with Khamzat last week. He is definitely like, as you remember before the Rob fight, just way more chilled out now, way less sort of aggressive and stuff. And I honestly think that probably does him a favor. I think if he got over, you know, like last time he got crazy was against Gilbert Burns and like, you know, he fought like an idiot.
Meanwhile, before the fight, Dricus Du Plessis had claimed that the main reason why he wanted to go face-to-face against the Russian fighter was due to his immaculate record. As DDP wanted to prove his standing as the best fighter in the UFC world, he wanted to go against an equally best contender who would give him a real challenge.
You know, there's nobody that went, oh, no, he doesn't deserve the shot. And that's what I'm about. I want to be the best, undoubtedly, and prove that by fighting the best. So, you know, Khamzat, what he has been able to do, nobody's been able to figure that out. You know, has the 0 next to his record, and you know that is what I believe is the making of somebody who wants to be exceptional, is fighting the absolute best to prove that you are.
On the other hand, while Dricus claimed to be the best and called out Chimaev for a fight, Khamzat Chimaev claimed that for him, the best aspect of fighting as a contender in the UFC would be the money and success that came along with it. For the Russian fighter, the belt held less importance than the money. Along with that, Khamzat told the audience that he looked forward to sparring against Dricus because he was the type of person who made fighting sound fun.
So he's a funny guy. Yeah, he does some. He speaks a little bit more than Robert does, so it will be fun. I like it when somebody talks and joking. I want to go spar with my friends and with my teammates. I speak with them and we have a fun. It's the same thing, bro. Every day we fight in the gym and go there, fight, make money. It makes me more happy.
Mm-hmm. When you think about the actual belt itself, something that you've waited for a long time, at this point, what does the belt mean to you? What does it symbolize? What is the significance of winning a UFC championship now to you?
If I say like it will like big thing for me, it will be like for me most important to have a money, make a money and make my family and good life.
Let us know what you thought about the fight in the comments down below. Did it go exactly as you had predicted, or were you shocked by the way things played out? In the meantime, don't forget to like and subscribe to keep updated on the latest UFC news.